this is how I'm gonna do these. So Sifu is a really interesting game. It takes this cool idea of like a kung fu revenge opera and just turns it into a video game, obviously. But the devs, they have this documentary they released about the game that they talked about how they wanted to make a kung fu game where it had real kung fu, like based on a real fighting style. So instead of it being like something like this, it's or like this, it's or like this. They actually mentioned nothing like Jet Li. They wanted it to be Bachme is what it's called. But when you look up Bachme on Google, you get this guy. But Bachme, if you go over here, it's a very aggressive pinpointing style of kung fu. So it's really fast and like really pinpoint precisions to hit and to your hurt your enemy. And it even mentions Sifu right here. Bakmei style kung fu was used as inspiration fighting style for the video game Sifu. So it's pretty cool. It's a very Chinese martial art, obviously, but the guy who they got to do the motion capture and everything for the game is this dude from France. He was training to be a kung fu guy. He was training some style at like the age of like 14 or something, and him and his dad went to China and he found a master in Bak Mei in China, and he dedicated his whole life to that style. So he is the master of Bak Mei, considering outside of China. He's the dude that you go to. So they strapped this dude into a motion capture suit and made him do like 200 different animations and moves and stuff. So yeah, so that is kind of the basis, and the weird intricacies of the game I think is important to understand how the game works. So Sifu is a game that's like really dedicated to its systems and its mechanics. It's very focused on animation style combat. So for example, you could be fighting a guy and you can like kick them and they'll slide, and they could slide into a chair and trip over the chair. So it's things like that that you need to be aware of during a fight. That's like really cool. For example, if an enemy swings a bat at you and you dodge out of the way, he'll keep swinging around and he'll hit his friend or he'll hit somebody else. So it's like it's a very radiant, dynamic way that they have these fights going out because they have all these animations. They have these really intricate ways these characters are fighting, and each time you go into a fight scene, it's completely different just according to how you play it out. So it's really cool. But on top of this, they have this paranormal element where every time you die, you get older. So you'll die and you'll age up 1 year. And there's a counter, has a skull, has one. If you die again, counter goes up to 2. So that 2 is what your life increases by. So it keeps going up by how many times your life increases by and how much older that you get. So Sifu isn't like Old Boy, but technically it is Old Boy because you become an old boy at the end of the game. It's kind of like the raid. It's kind of like John Wick. It's kind of like Only God Forgives, all combined into this painterly style thing. So what's really cool is the game. When you die, you age up, which is a cool mechanic in itself. But where the game encourages you to, like, how it encourages you to be better or to try different things is by having skills and things that you can only unlock at certain ages. Like under the age of 25, you can unlock this skill. Under the age of 40, you can unlock this skill. But as you get older, your power goes up too. So there's this weighing of like, do I want to be more powerful and lose health, or do I want to have this certain skill, like my weapons can last longer, or my defense is stronger? And then they allow you to reset your runs, so you can go back to because you started at age 20. So you started at age 20, you can reset the whole run and start the game from 20. So your mission is to try not to die before the age of 80 and to kill 6 masters who are basically this the story is really simple. A guy kills your dad, and you want to get revenge. And there's 6 kung fu masters who are part of that guy's like squad, and that's just kind of the game. There's these 6 levels, and you have to try your best not to die as you go. So, what the game does so well is it makes you want to try a level over and over and over again, so you don't come out of that level being age 50. Because you don't want to be age 50 out of the first level. You want to be like age 20. Your goal is to stay at age 20 to get to the last level. So there's a big amount of pressure, but also not, because you can reset. You can just go back like, oh, I messed up here, I'll just restart. But you can also reset your whole run. So to keep your experience and to keep your skills that you accumulate, you have to stay in that run, stay as that age. So for example, if you're 34 and you have this skill that you like and you don't want to restart, you can just keep going and keep that skill, which is cool. Or you can keep dumping experience points into that skill and you have that skill forever. So you can just like, okay, I finally put 5,000 XP into this skill. I'm gonna go restart at age 20 from the first level and keep going through. Once you hit the next level at whatever age, if it's younger than what you were at prior, it'll keep that age. So if I go to level 2 at age 60 and then I restart and I go through it again and I get through the first level fully through at age 20 and I go to the next level, my check mark will be age 20. So I'll forever be age 20 at level 2. So there's a lot of ways the game encourages you to keep trying and to keep going to stay at the youngest age. It's very cool. It's a really fun way to put a twist on the like roguelike genre, because roguelikes are kind of like you die and you learn, you keep going, you die, you learn, you die, you learn. And this is like, let's tie in kung fu and training and this revenge story into this roguelike style, which is a really cool way to like reinforce kung fu, like because you need to train at that and you need to get better and better. So while you're learning kung fu as the character's training, you're learning and you're getting better at the game, and it's reinforced by the roguelike elements and everything as you keep restarting, going back and forth and figuring out what's best. So it's really interesting. It's such a fun game to play. I've played the first level maybe like 30 times just because I was trying to hit that, like, I'm not going to leave this level unless I'm age 20, and I hit it. And it took me a while, but it took the game to like kind of grab me and like say like, hey, like, we're not gonna take it easy on you. You have to learn how to play this game. You have to learn how to think in this fighting style. Like, you have to learn, okay, this is what this move does. I can use this move to create distance between me and this guy who has a pipe, so I don't get hit and I can, attack this guy. It just like it encourages you to think like a kung fu master, which is really cool. It's a really fun thing. I like when games do that, where like the mechanics and everything are tied into one. Like it's like Death Stranding. It's the game I always think about as I'm playing this game, is how everything's intertwined. Like as I'm playing Death Stranding, I'm thinking, how can I make this route as quick as possible? Like, how can I become the best courier ever? And this, I'm like, how can I figure out which way is the most efficient way to take down this guy in this fight? Like, do I go at this angle and kick him into this chair so he flips over and he hits his friend staggers, and then I can go in for a kill? Like, what do I do? It's just so many different situations that I'm thinking about. It's just really, really fun. It's nothing like it. It's very visceral, and like, people keep comparing it to like a beat 'em up game, and it is a beat 'em up game, but it's a beat 'em up game that is harder, not because beat 'em up games aren't hard, because most of the time they are pretty hard. It's a beat 'em up game that requires you to be acutely aware of everything, of the systems, of yourself, of the characters, or you're just going to get your ass beat. Like, it's just like, it's kind of that. It's not Dark Souls-y, which is kind of weird, because Dark Souls is more like level design and boss mechanics, and this is just purely combat. It's a purely like combat puzzle is kind of how it feels. So yeah, it's a game that you need to give yourself to. You need to just like lay yourself over, say, hey, like I'm willing to adjust and think completely different compared to a beat 'em up game or a Dark Souls game, and just like play it how it wants you to play it. Once you get in that zone, it's like just a next level experience. Because I was having a hard time the first couple go rounds because I was trying to play like a Devil May Cry, you know, beat 'em up game, and then eventually I got humbled by the game, and I just started to play like, okay, let's see what I can do. Eventually I just got really good at it. So yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, then now I'm gonna show it off to you guys. I'll show you guys like the first couple bit of the first level.
Do it.
Which is super cool. How do I request again? I turned it off.
You just go back to share.
Yeah. I missed it. Okay. Share system audio, screen one. Okay. I'm gonna mute you guys. Okay. Let me get all this out of the way. Oh my gosh. Okay. So let's get into it. Turn on my controller. I'm gonna try my best to do like a E3 presentation. I will say they do have the game originally when I was reviewing it, there was Chinese audio that not available yet, but they have it available now, and I wish it was available when I was playing it because the English voice acting is kind of bad. Okay, so I'm gonna give up. So I'll give up this run. Go back to the beginning. Here's like the main screen. Wuguan is like the temple that you live at. This is where your family's based at. And that's you're training and hitting stuff. It's cool. Okay. So it's just kind of like your hub, but you want to go in here, and the squats is the first level. This is like the first dude, like the guy who kills your dad's like gardener or something. Like he's like a kung fu artist that you want to go and kill. And this is where the game really shows you like this is like hey, this is our aesthetic. This like painterly claymation kind of. It's I don't know how to explain it besides claymation painterly look, but it's really good. Yeah, so fuck off, which is not Chinese, but hey. So they do a really good job of making it feel like a kung fu movie that you're just kind of directing yourself. Like it feels like you're just playing the dude who's the main character of a kung fu thing, which is super cool. This is very reminiscent of The Raid. You're going up these stairs. There's a shortcut over here, but it's not as cool as going up the stairs. So I'm gonna show you just me beating up these dudes. Punch that guy in the throat. Oh. He did. Yeah, he's very aggressive. But that's just kind of the name of the game. It's really fun to beat up dudes. It feels good once you get into the rhythm. It's like, dang, like look, I can grab bottles, throw it at that guy behind him, and just break that dude's leg.
It reminds me of like every.
And then, so there's these 2 meters, right? There's a yellow meter above them and above me. It's kind of like Sekiro's stance meter, like you build it up and you can break into their defenses. So both of you have those, so they can break your bar, just like you can break theirs. And once you break theirs, you get a little combat like thing, and that'll give you health back. So during a fight, you want to break their stance, and you want to do the little Y. It's called like a YB pops up, and you just do that, and you get health back. So that's the only way you can accumulate health back in this game, which is really fun system. He's gonna throw a bottle or try to. There's that. Okay. See this. Get my health back. There's a guy behind me. He's gonna have a bottle. Dodge it. Ooh, he hit me. Okay. Yeah, it's like really cool how varied the animations are. This is my favorite part of the game, actually, right here. It's an old boy homage here. Very fun. Let's go to 2D, picking up pipes. Oh. Yeah, it's so fun just to like. And I was talking to Taylor early. I was like, I don't know if the game got easy or if I just got better. Because I know for sure they did patch it before the game went live to the public. One of the bosses is considerably easier. So okay, yeah. See, she just broke my stance and screwed me up. So here's your little. These charms kind of represent your, aging. You get 2 chances per charm, and once they break, you're kind of like the end of your rope. So you get like 8 or 10 tries, I think, is what it is. And on the right, you got your XP to use and give away, and you can like unlock them multiple times to get them permanently. So there's a lot of things in here that you might want to get. I don't want anything, so I'll just go back. And then your age goes up. Boom. And once you kill specific players, like there's characters that are like mini bosses. Once you kill mini bosses, your death counter, the little age counter, goes down. So when you die the next time, it'll be 0 instead of being 1 or 2. So you want to make sure you're being smart about what fights you pick or how aggro you go during certain fights. It's a really cool system. That dude always throws his phone. It goes like really high each time. That's the first time that guy behind me has ever like not thrown a bottle. So I'm kind of curious why he didn't do that. So you can grab weapons like a broom, bottles, pipes, and beat the shit out of people. I could go through. So if you go through here, there's going to be a big fight, but you can also go through like a alternate path over here and take down these dudes who would join the fight, right? So it's just fun little ways you can find ways to make the fights easier as you go through. This is usually how I go through, and then these two are gonna get mad. They got a bottle, yeah. So okay, I got some health, which is good. This guy's got a pipe, so I want to beat him up and grab his pipe at least. If I throw it at him, maybe kick him. Oh, dude. Okay, so let's see. We're almost done with my little demo after this fight. But this is what SIFU is, It's. I'm like, okay, I clearly, should have dodged when I tried to parry. And yeah, it's just a constant. And they do really cool things with changing the landscape as you fight. They have like little like transitions, or really like paranormal, like weird transitions they'll do. where the level just changes out of nowhere. It's really cool. Yeah, so these dudes who glow gold, sometimes during big fights, dudes will just like be like, I'm not gonna go down. I'm gonna fight you. And they turn gold. Oh, so you just fucked me up. Here's another cool thing. You can hit pressure points. And so there's certain skills you only get certain ages with certain pressure points and a bunch of other things. Yeah, so the pressure point system is like kind of not really an afterthought, but something that you only use like when you're in a pinch. Like, okay, I'm about to get fucked up, so let me just like poke this dude in the eyes or hit him in the leg. But yeah, and here's like this. Let's see. I think this is dynamic. Yeah, this is dynamic. All these things people can break and trip over. It's just really cool. This chair specifically, I love kicking dudes into it, and it'll just like fall back. Yeah, it's just super fun. Oh yeah, one last thing. These little jade statues are your like bonfire checkpoints, basically. And you can spend your resources here, like your age. Like, oh, your weapons will last longer here, or the structure, which is the little bar at the bottom, will regain quicker, or your weapons will have more impact, or your focus, which is the pressure system, you can get an extra bar, like things like that. Just yeah, it's a really well thought out, concise system. I'm gonna kick this person off. Hope they didn't fall off. Okay, there, whatever. Okay, I'm getting. There we go. And that's SIFU. Definitely really cool. Now let me get audio back so I can hear y'all. Okay.
That looks really cool, man.
It's very good. I guess
0 out of 10, you died.
0 out of 10, you did.
I don't know. Like sometimes I do really good, and sometimes I do really bad. That's just kind of the balance of it. I guess the only like negative is it's locked on the Epic Game Store. That's kind of the only negative on PC at least. So
it's that, and it's PS5, I believe, right?
Yeah. But definitely pick it up if you want to be challenged by a video game. But yeah, there's nothing like it. It's kind of one of those games. So
and PS4
and PS4. Yeah, no, the action movie style battle sequences. I mentioned it. You probably couldn't hear me, but I brought up there was one sequence where you're kind of right before you go through this hallway that it reminded me of that really famous Daredevil scene from the first season where he's like beating people up from it's like the one continuous shot, which I absolutely love, and I've always wanted to play a video game like that, not live that in real life, but play a video game like that, and it partly seemed that way.
It does a lot of things where it's just like, oh, like I've seen this before, like, oh, I've like it does a really good job of like getting those feelings out of you, because I mean, like playing a game is really fun to be like, oh, I've kind of wanted to beat dudes up in like a nightclub, like the second spot is a nightclub. There's like heavy bass, is like John Wick neon lights, and like it's crazy, but it's like they do a really good job of evoking those feelings of media you've seen before, but it's not like in a way where it's like eye-rollingly like, oh yeah, I've seen this before. It's like, oh, this is cool. This is from old boy. I've always wanted to be in the hallway fight from that movie. Like it's fun, and you get your ass kicked a lot. So